In today's video, I will take you through every detail of Saudia Streamliner Business Class. Their lounge in Jeddah, the seat comfort, the onboard menu, as well as the overall service, and whether this airline may even deserves the bad reputation it sometimes gets, or if it's one of the hidden gems in Middle Eastern aviation. Fancy joining me on this adventure? Welcome to Fly with Dominic. Hey folks, and beautiful good evening from Jeddah International Airport. Today I'll be flying all the way to Guangzhou, China on board Saudi Arabian Airlines Boeing 787-9 in business class, believe it or not. I just got here on board another Saudia flight, on board their Airbus A330-300, also in business class, coming inbound from Tunis, which is the capital of Tunisia, as probably everybody of you guys knows. But anyway, I got 3 hours connecting time here now in Jeddah. And I would say that we'll make a straight 180-degree turn and head right inside the Saudia Al Fawzan business class lounge. Given the late hour, Jeddah's new King Abdulaziz International Airport was calm, quiet, bright and remarkably modern, reflecting the new image Saudia has been cultivating over the past few years. Saudia's Al Fawzan lounge is located on the first floor, above the numerous duty-free shops, and is easily accessible via an escalator. As a Werder Bremen fan, I gotta say that I do really like the green lighting scheme. As it's becoming common in modern lounges, boarding passes are no longer checked by the staff. Instead, passengers board themselves via a ticket gate. Once your boarding pass is scanned, you walk through a long, wide and impressive corridor into the heart of the lounge. This lounge opened as part of the opening of the new terminal in Jeddah in 2019, and although I haven't seen much yet, I'm already very impressed. On the left-hand side, there is a separate area for first-class passengers. In addition to its own duty-free shop, this lounge also has a piano, similar to the Turkish Airlines lounge in Istanbul, although it's not a self-playing piano. There is also a conference room, which must be reserved in advance, as well as a small decorative collection of vintage Saudi Arabian aircraft and awards the airline has received in the past years. But now let's get to the more important stuff. The drink selection is excellent, and I should also mention at this point that Saudia is a dry airline. This also applies to the lounge, obviously. The buffet offers a good selection of various cold appetizers and desserts, all individually wrapped. Of course, there are also numerous hot dishes. Today there is Egyptian umali, which is bread pudding made with puff pastry, milk, nuts and raisins, as well as fried noodles with vegetables, various steamed veggies, a cream soup, chicken curry, beef stroganoff and various hot sandwiches, and last but not least, boiled white rice as a side dish. A station where you can customize pasta to your liking is also integrated into the buffet. Pretty cool, really gotta say that. In addition to the hot drinks already available at the buffet, there is also a sort of integrated coffee shop with a barista. Anyone traveling with children, although I would probably never do that in business class, can also enjoy this child corner. The lounge itself has numerous seats, including these couch-like seating areas, which I chose to spend the next few hours on. As you can see, I have put together a small plate with the chicken curry, vegetables and rice. Before I forget, all the seats are equipped with universal power outlets and USB ports. Really convenient. Wi-Fi is also available and works quite well. Alright, I finally found a cozy location to settle down inside this, well, rather amazing lounge. I've not been to too many business class lounges yet, as you probably already know, but I do think that this is one of the better ones anyway. However, let's firstly take a sip of water before finally giving this good-looking Thai curry a try. What? It's actually pretty good, but not really spicy, being honest. So I'm used to another spice level in Thailand. But anyway, And I think it's also worth to be mentioned that this is actually plastic cutlery and not metal cutlery, although it's looking like it. For me, this visit was a great reminder of how Saudia has come in redefining its premium product during the past years. The launch doesn't try to overwhelm you with extravagance, but rather focuses on what matters most: peace, comfort, and genuine hospitality before your journey continues. Alright, I just left the lounge and now I am finally on my way, to today's gate A29A, which is, well, quite a funny name, isn't it? Or number to say so. But anyway, I seriously can't wait to finally take a first look at today's Boeing 787-9 and also to board it afterwards, although it's already dark outside, so probably I won't be even able to take a look at the aircraft beforehand. Nope, I sadly won't, because I just arrived at gate A29A. Well, so let's finally board today's 787 and take a closer look at the cabin interior, especially the business class cabin interior, once we are on board. But before boarding, let's take a quick look at the departure board. I will be on board Saudia flight SV882 bound for Guangzhou and scheduled to leave at 11:05 p.m. The boarding process started right on time and was efficiently organized, with dedicated lanes for business class and SkyTeam Elite passengers. The aircraft operating today's service was a Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner, registered as Hotel Zulu-Alpha Romeo Charlie. Saudia currently operates 13 Boeing 787-9s, each configured with 298 seats, 24 in business class and 274 in economy. Once on board, I was welcomed with the warm hospitality I already felt on my inbound flight from Tunis. The business class is arranged in a 1-2-1 reverse herringbone layout, providing every passenger with direct aisle access and a good amount of privacy. A huge improvement compared to Saudia's older A330s or 777 cabins. Alright guys, after a very warm welcome by today's cabin crew, I finally settled in at today's seat 5L, which is obviously right next to the window. And it literally took like 20 to 30 seconds until a flight attendant arrived and offered me a welcome drink. But before we try the smoothie, let's take a first quick look around today's seat. First of all, this large white pillow and this blue blanket were already waiting at my seat. The legroom offered by this seat is of course impressive. The IFE monitor is huge, which I tried to show you with my hand, but was completely unsuccessful due to my hand's proximity to the camera. Sometimes I'm really too smart for this world. Anyway, the cabin was only lit in a subtle shade of purple and the view outside the window was excellent. A small bottle of water was also already waiting at my seat. As indicated, I had no other chance but to take another delicious date smoothie as my welcome drink, which you may already know from my previous Saudia A330 review. Also, a warm towel has been provided, which I of course happily used. Additionally, an Arabic coffee as well as a dry date were offered to each passenger after the welcome drink. Same as this amenity kit, which contents we will of course check out in detail once airborne. Alright, at this point today's cabin crew is already doing such an amazing job. They are like, I don't know, 5 or 6 flight attendants, which are only working, or which like seem to only work in this rather small business class cabin, and the result is that during boarding there will be a cabin crew member coming around like every 60 seconds to ask if everything's fine or if you need anything whatsoever, which is like super amazing and really impressive. So cheers. Just love this Arabic coffee.
In case of a decompression in the cabin, oxygen masks will drop in front of you automatically. Take the nearest mask immediately, pull it down, and secure it over your nose and mouth. Put on your mask before helping others.
Alright, we are finally airborne, and just as the fasten seatbelt signs have been switched off, the cabin crew came around in order to hand out today's onboard menu and ask for the food orders of us passengers. So let's take a quick look inside the menu. Given the late hour of today's flight, there were mostly breakfast options on the menu. The first one was Foul Medam, which is an Arabic dish based on fava beans stewed in tomato sauce. The second option was an egg galette with sliced potatoes and onions. Also, there was an a la carte menu offering a coconut and bircher muesli and an omelette with smoked salmon and asparagus, or stir-fried noodles with chicken and prawn dumplings for main. Finally, various additional dishes have been offered on the all-day dining menu. So, in total, I counted 7 different main dishes available on today's flight. So, of course, I didn't rent for a specific menu, but combined various dishes, which the crew happily accepted. But first off, as we were still cruising somewhere overhead Saudi Arabia, some mixed warm nuts have been handed out. Just a few minutes later, the, let's say, first course was served. I went for the mixed fruits. They were accompanied by various typical breakfast pastries, like a chocolate bread roll and a croissant coming along butter and honey. Drink-wise, I went for a lemon mint mocktail as well as some still water, which was served in quite a fancy bottle. Although fresh fruits are nothing too special and you may get them served similarly, just in a plastic bowl, in economy class, they all tasted really good. Thumbs up from me. So, time to stay a little hydrated before starting the second course, the bircher muesli. This was topped with raisins, dried mango and a scoop of yogurt. The taste was also decent, but the portion was much bigger than I initially expected. My third course were stir-fried noodles with chicken and prawn dumplings. The dumplings looked quite good, but didn't convince me 100% taste-wise. After the meal, I reclined the seat into full flat mode in order to try to get some sleep. And no worries, of course I will show you more food from the menu before landing. I slowly feel like I need a worldwide gym subscription, something like a gym priority pass maybe, after eating so much airplane food. But for now, good night. Alright guys, beautiful good morning from the forward lavatory of today's Boeing 787. As you can, well, hopefully see, I slept amazing for 5 hours consecutive. The cabin crew just woke me up with the words, "Good morning, sir. Would you like to have breakfast?" And I was like, hell yeah. Nevertheless, I suggest that we will take a quick look through this lavatory here and head back to my seat afterwards in order to enjoy breakfast. The loo itself was a typical Boeing 787 lavatory. No fancy bezel like on the Turkish Airlines Boeing 777. Just some skincare and lotion was provided, but that's pretty much what I expected. Apart of that, the lavatory was equipped with an infant changing table and was definitely on the clean side. But let's head back to my seat for breakfast. The service started with this beautiful view outside the window as we were cruising somewhere over southern mainland China, close to the border to Laos, which is honestly a country I have not been to yet. First off, I ordered the Arabic meze. To be precisely, I got served 2 fried kibbeh meatballs, a bowl of tabbouleh salad, 3 differently flavored cheese balls, and finally hummus topped with olive oil. All of this was accompanied by more olive oil, salt, pepper, traditional Arabic bread, as well as another bottle of still water. So let's give everything a try, starting with the tabbouleh salad, which tasted just amazing. Next came the hummus with the traditional Arabic bread, which was also just tasty. Once all appetizers have been finished, I was served the rice with chicken from the all-day dining menu, which was presented just beautifully by today's cabin crew. I really gotta say that. Additionally, I couldn't resist to also order the cheesecake topped with strawberries and candied pistachios. So let's give the rice with chicken a try first. And yes, it was definitely worth stretching my stomach to the very maximum for trying this, as it was just delicious. Same as the cheesecake. Okay, I gotta add that cheesecake is by far my favorite cake, so I directly had to take a second bite. But as all dishes have been cleared now and we have already started with our descent into Guangzhou, let's take a closer look at today's seat. Starting with the foldable table, which is quite stable and stowed underneath the huge IFE monitor. To my right there is a storage compartment, perfectly suitable for smartphone chargers and other small items. And another one right next to it. Maybe for lipstick? I don't know. Above it there is a small magazine compartment holding not only a race bag but also the safety card of today's Boeing 787-9. A small reading light can be found next to the headrest, and the seat control buttons were actually digital based on a touch display. Fancy. One thing I do appreciate about the Boeing 787 is that it's usually still equipped with these fresh air nozzles, in contrast to the Airbus A350. Or do you know any A350s still featuring these? Please let me know in the comment section down below. Next to the aisle there is yet another large storage compartment in which I was hiding the initially shown amenity kit. So let's take a detailed look inside. Honestly, I prefer using my own amenities and just taking these amenity kits back home with me as a memory. But well, the in-flight entertainment system featured a wide range of Arabic and international content. Over 200 movies and a decent selection of TV shows. The touchscreen was smooth and responsive. However, the IFE can also be controlled with this remote, hidden in a storage compartment. Finally, the provided over-ear headphones had a good sound quality and were also reducing cabin noise effectively. By the way, Saudia, officially known as Saudi Arabian Airlines, is a member of the SkyTeam Alliance and one of the oldest airlines in the Middle East, founded in 1945 with a single DC-3 gifted by former US President Roosevelt. Today, the airline operates a fleet of over 150 aircraft and continues its modernization program as a part of Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 initiative. But let's finally enjoy the landing at Guangzhou's Baiyun Airport. After a gentle touchdown, I was once again reminded how underrated Saudia's premium product actually is. A well-maintained aircraft, top-notch crew, and a service that feels polished and confident, even without the luxury trimmings of champagne or caviar. Honestly, I was initially hesitating to book this flight as I wanted to enjoy some champagne in business class, you know? But after this flight, I could punch myself for just raising this concern. So finally, I can only say thank you for watching this video until the very end. I do wish every one of you a great day, stay tuned for my upcoming videos, and cheers!